Hi, this is Sibylla Extreme Vocal and ABC of Distortion for Fry Scream, False Cord Growl and Raspy Singing for rock and heavy metal music. The fifth thing that we will take care of in this video is how to get a healthy and powerful distortion. We can achieve distortion in two basic ways. The first way is fry scream and vocal fry, and the second one is the false chord technique. Fry scream distortion is achieved due to very chaotic, very rapid vibrations of our true vocal folds. They are vibrating in a very chaotic way, and the air that flows in between them creates bubbles, and these bubbles are responsible for the fry sound like Fry Scream also offers very wide range of options and sounds that we can achieve. We can scream high, we can get low growls and gutturals, and of course we can sing with distortion using fry. Releasing the demons again! Bands that are using fry scream, no matter it is high, low, or just singing with distortion, are for example Norder, Children of Bodom, Emperor, Later Dissection, Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Godsmack, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, most of the rock bands, Deathcore 2, for example, Oceano high-pitched screams, Infant Annihilator high-pitched screams, Raptor screams or very low gutturals, and many other rock or heavy metal bands. When you want to start with fry scream, first of all it is good to learn how to use basic vocal fry, because vocal fry is just not compressed fry scream, a very lazy version of fry scream. And it sounds like this. Vocal fry is almost effortless type of sound. You will sound like purring lazy cat or just creaky door. Throat, larynx, vocal folds are relaxed. You will feel only hear vibrations in your throat and inside of your mouth. The breath support is just minimal, so you don't put any kind of strength or effort into achieving vocal fry. And that ease, that state of relaxation inside your throat during vocal fry is good to be moved into your fry scream, because fry scream requires more of smart work to do inside of our throat to compress the sound, and vocal fry, which is very lazy, can help you to avoid the problem of clenching your throat and tightening your throat too much. So basically begin with a vocal fry which is very lazy, and then it will be easier for you to achieve healthy effortless fry scream too. The next step is to move from clean voice to the distorted one and get back to the clean sound like ah. Try to do it as smooth as it is possible. The transition has to be smooth. Ah, e, oh. The next thing is to move from vocal fry to clean voice and get back to a vocal fry. These two exercises are the best exercises also for getting a raspy singing voice. When you are already familiar with the vocal fry, you can easily switch between clean and distorted sound. Then it is good time for you to begin the practice of your fry scream. Beside the vocal fry and transition from clean voice to vocal fry, it is also good to have basic knowledge of how to use your basic falsetto or head voice, even like whoo, 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 ah, ah. It is easier in the beginning to achieve higher or medium fry scream than lower one, and don't be surprised or just worried if your first fry scream will be kinda quiet. Fry scream technique is much more quiet than false chord. It also uses lesser amount of air, so when you practice the fry scream you can inhale lesser air than you do while performing false chord. To practice fry scream, it is also good to have a wine cork It is good because it opens our mouth wider and it sets our throat and inside of our mouth in the way that is easier to achieve the fry scream and distortion. So we will begin with light head voice or falsetto. And we will put a layer of vocal fry on our head voice or our falsetto. So basically try to add a vocal fry on your head voice or your falsetto. The more fryish you want the sound to become and the higher you want to go, the more engage your belly muscles and diaphragm. The second exercise to achieve a fry scream is to begin with the vocal fry and to move the sound higher and higher, like we wanted to put it above the level of our lips. So basically you can imagine like you begin with lazy vocal fry and you want to put this vocal fry higher and higher toward your head voice register, and it sounds like this. During practicing exercises with your fry scream, put your attention to the relaxed inside of your throat, your larynx and your vocal folds. Don't clench them, let them be relaxed. It is essential for healthy and powerful fry scream. So don't try to push too much, don't try to push too hard, and don't try to be too loud. Your first fry scream will be kinda quiet, and it is good to grow the power step by step, not just by rushing forward. The power and the volume will grow with your experience. And now at last we will take care of the false chord. Distortion in the false chord technique is created by our false vocal folds. They create the most of the distortion, and the tone, the pitch, is created by our true vocal folds. So they decide whether the sound is high or low, but the distortion is created by our false vocal folds. False chord technique uses much more air than fry scream. The stream of air in false chord is pretty much wide, and the stream of air in the fry scream technique is pretty much compressed and narrowed. So in false chord technique, it is essential to master your breathing. False chord technique, besides using much more air than fry scream, is also louder. It is easier to begin with louder sounds using false chord technique than louder sounds with fry scream. So it is kinda contrast. Fry scream in the beginning is just quiet, and false chord in the beginning can be loud, but don't try to push the sound to be too loud. The volume of the sound is higher in the false chord technique, but still don't push too hard whole sound. Also, it is easier to growl or scream in medium range or low range in false chord technique than in the beginning of fry scream. In the contrast, fry scream is easier to achieve on the higher notes in the beginning, and the false chord is easier to begin with lower or medium range sounds. The basic distortion in false chord technique is just basic growl, like And when you are comfortable with making such sound, you can decide whether to develop your range to higher notes or lower or even above. But firstly, it is essential to get very effortless, comfortable growl effect. For activation of our false vocal folds, we can make few sounds like we were clearing our throat. You can place your fingers a little bit above your larynx and in the area of your sides of nose. Do you feel vibrations in the sides of your nose and a little bit above of your larynx? If so, then you are activating your false vocal folds. It is just a demonstration for you to be aware how does it feel to activate your false vocal folds and where does the sound vibrate. And now we will try out two exercises of how to get false chord growl. When it will be easy for you to get your growl anytime, anywhere, these exercises can become a part of your daily warm-up. The first exercise is a transition from our clean voice to the distorted one with growl. The most important thing about this exercise is to keep our throat open, our larynx and vocal folds relaxed. If there is any tension, it appears in our belly muscles area, and when we want to transit from the clean sound to growl, we use more breath support and we clench our belly muscles a little bit more, but not too tight. Also, don't try to be too loud, and don't worry if your first growl doesn't sound like a guttural from hell. It can be very light distortion like ah. The transition should be also smooth, so it doesn't sound like There is too much pressure on my vocal folds, so our larynx has to be relaxed. The second exercise begins with inhaling the air like we did it through a straw, so the stream of air is pretty much narrowed, and then we sigh with a growl using our breath support and clenching a little bit more our belly muscles to achieve healthy and effortless growl with opened, relaxed throat. And here is some example. As you can hear, I don't put any effort in that exercise because I know it is just a warm-up, it is just a basic exercise for basic growl. I don't need to sound like my guttural is from hell, it is just a basic growl effect. When you practice your false chord or fry scream, it is good to take a break for about 1 or 2 minutes, just rest, just chill and relax your throat and get back to work. It is also good to drink water between exercises to moisture your mucous membrane. It is also good to drink a little dose of water between exercises just to moisture your mucous membrane. Examples of bands using false chord are Deicide, Cannibal Corpse, Shadows of Intent, Whitechapel, At the Gates. When you'll combine your clean sound with distortion from false chord, you can achieve something like jazz growl that was used by Louis Armstrong, for example in the song What a Wonderful World. When you combine your clean singing voice with false chord, you can also achieve something like throat singing. Singing stuff like this. Okay, so here we have it, the most important principles of singing and using any kind of extreme vocal technique. I hope that this information will be valuable for you and will be helpful along your vocal development. Thank you very much for this video. Have a great day, have a great practice and grow your voice like a beast in a healthy, effective, powerful manner. Stay extrinsically vocalized. Cheers and love.